Chatham County, North Carolina, Public Health. Protecting and promoting the health and safety of Chatham County residents. Before volunteering at a concession stand, also known as a limited food service establishment, there are some guidelines and rules that you should be aware of in order to ensure everyone's safety. This instructional video will provide a better understanding of specific food safety and sanitation rules. Volunteers are greatly appreciated and highly valued members of any organization. One guideline to note is that a volunteer at a limited food service establishment can be designated as person in charge in the event the manager is not on duty. According to North Carolina Food Code Manual, the person in charge is defined as the individual present at a food establishment who is responsible for the operation at the time of the inspection. Did you know exposure from a food handler who is sick can cause food-borne disease? For this reason, you should not work at a concession stand if you have any of the following symptoms: diarrhea, vomiting, jaundice, which is the yellowing of skin due to hepatitis infection, lesions that are bleeding or contain pus, or sore throat with fever. Additionally, you should not work if you have any of the following diseases: Salmonella typhi, better known as typhoid fever, non-typhoidal salmonella, Shigella species, enterohemorrhagic or Shigella toxin-producing E. coli, norovirus, or hepatitis A. If you have any of the following symptoms or illnesses, you must notify the person in charge. Additionally, proper attire is necessary when working the concession stand. Hair must be effectively restrained. This can be achieved by wearing a hat or a hairnet. Beards should also be covered. With the exception of a plain wedding band type ring, all jewelry on arms and hands should not be worn while preparing food. It should also be noted that fingernails should be trimmed, filed, and maintained so that the edges and surfaces are cleanable and not rough. Unless wearing intact gloves in good repair, fingernail polish or artificial nails should not be worn when working with exposed food. Hand washing is the single most important line of defense in preventing the transmission of disease-causing organisms. Let's discuss proper hand washing. Did you know that a large percentage of foodborne disease outbreaks are spread by contaminated hands? Appropriate hand washing practices can reduce the risk of foodborne illness and other infections. Note, hand sanitizer is not a substitute for proper hand washing. Food workers, which includes concession stand volunteers, are required by law to wash their hands. To wash your hands, wet hands with warm running water. Apply soap to hands. Be sure to rub hands vigorously at least for 20 seconds and wash all surfaces, including backs of hands, wrists, between fingers, and under fingernails. Rinse your hands well. Dry your hands with a single-serve paper towel. Use that paper towel to turn off the faucet. All hand washing should take place at the designated hand washing sink only. You should not wash your hands at a sink where dishes are cleaned. It is very important to know when to wash your hands. Always wash your hands after returning to the concession stand, after using the restroom or going outside, sneezing, coughing, or blowing your nose, eating, drinking, or smoking, or after handling raw food and changing tasks, or mopping floors, taking out the garbage, or other dirty chores, and before donning gloves. If the food is ready to eat, whereas it will not undergo cooking or washing, for example, chips, bare hands should not come in contact with the food. Utensils such as deli tissue, spatulas, tongs, or single-use gloves must be used. It is important to note that once gloves have been removed, they should not be reused, and that gloves should only go on clean hands that have been washed. Did you know? Each year, 1 in 6 Americans get sick by consuming contaminated foods or beverages. Many different disease-causing microbes or pathogens can contaminate foods. By eliminating access to the food concession area to authorized personnel only, the risk of food contamination is decreased. Children under 12, animals, and unauthorized persons should not be in the food service area. Not only do the personnel in the food area need to be approved, but only food from an approved source should be served at a concession stand. The first line of defense in preventing foodborne illnesses is to obtain food from a safe and approved sources. Safe and approved sources are suppliers that comply with pertinent laws and regulations. The only exception is that fresh, whole, uncut produce can come from any source, including roadside vendors, farmers markets, and local gardens. Never use home-prepared or home-canned foods at the concession stand, as it is not known if it was prepared safely. Proper temperatures are vital for food safety. Hot foods must remain hot, and cold foods must remain cold. One of the most important pieces of equipment to ensure that food is safe is the food probe thermometer. They need to be calibrated to ensure an accurate reading. There are 2 calibration methods: the ice bath method, which uses a set point of 32 degrees Fahrenheit, and the boiling water method, which uses a set point of 212 degrees Fahrenheit. These instructional handouts, along with others, are available upon request from your environmental health specialist or from the health department. Hot foods that are prepared at the concession stand must be cooked or reheated to a certain temperature. Cooking temperatures are determined based on the type of food. Hot dogs are cooked at 135 to 165 degrees Fahrenheit based on labeled packaging. Pre-cooked foods and commercial foods like canned chili is heated to 135 to 165 based on label instructions. Nacho cheese sauce should be heated to 135, while ground beef burgers should be cooked to 155 for at least 15 seconds. Plant-based foods like potatoes for French fries must reach 135. Once hot foods are heated or cooked to proper temperature, they must be held at or above 135 degrees Fahrenheit until served to customers. To ensure an accurate reading, fully immerse the probe tip into the food being measured. Note: leftover hot foods prepared in the concession stand may not be saved. It must be given or thrown away at the end of the day. Let's take a look at how to take temperature of a hot dog. You should clean the thermometer probe that is going to be used to take the temperature. Use tongs to remove the hot dog from the heat source. Insert the probe into the long end of the hot dog. Wait a few seconds for the thermometer to give a stable temperature reading. These batch of hot dogs are fully cooked as the temperature is over 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Now let's take a look at how to take temperature of canned chili that's been heated. As always, we want to clean our thermometer probe that's going to be used to take the measurement. As you can see, the chili has been heated adequately as it has reached over 135 degrees Fahrenheit. As for cold foods like uncooked hot dogs, sliced cheese, or an open can of bulk chili, they must be kept at 41 degrees Fahrenheit or below. If a commercial container is opened and the food from the container is not prepared or used within 24 hours, the package or container must be date marked. These items should not be kept for more than 7 days. There are some exceptions to this rule. For example, Swiss or Kobe cheeses. Sanitizing solution is needed to properly clean food contact surfaces at the concession stand. This solution can be prepared using chlorine bleach, quaternary ammonium, or iodine. Let's take a look at how to prepare sanitizer using bleach. The spray bottle should be labeled as sanitizer. Use the cap of the chlorine bleach bottle to dispense 4 to 5 drops of the solution into the bottle. Then fill the spray bottle with water. Once the solution has been prepared, it must be tested using chlorine test strips. The strips should turn blue. Remove a strip pad and mix the spray bottle solution. Spray the solution on the chlorine strip. And compare it against the color chart to determine the ppm or parts per million of chlorine in the solution. It should be between 50 and 100 ppm. To clean dishes and utensils, first scrape excess food debris into a trash container. Then wash utensils with detergent and water that is at least 110 degrees Fahrenheit in the first bath. Then rinse by submersion or under clear running water in the second bath for soap removal. Place clean utensils on clean drain board. Spray all surface areas very well with chemical sanitizing solution of either the 50 to 100 ppm bleach water solution as we just saw demonstrated, or the 200 ppm quaternary ammonium solution. Remember, the strength of solutions must be verified by using test-appropriate test strips. Then allow utensils to completely air dry before storing. Empty the sinks after use. In summary, volunteers may be designated as person in charge. Employee health policy states that volunteers should not work if they have any of the previously mentioned symptoms or diseases. Have your hair properly restrained and remove all hand and arm jewelry except for a plain ring. Wash your hands with soap and warm water for 20 seconds. No bare hand contact with ready-to-eat foods. No unauthorized personnel. Keep hot foods hot and cold foods cold. That's below 41 degrees Fahrenheit. Take cooking and hot holding temperatures of heated foods with calibrated thermometer. No leftovers of prepared hot foods. Date mark opened food containers, then discard on or before 7 days. Prepare sanitizing solution that is properly labeled and pH tested for the cleaning of utensils and surface areas. And clean dishes by washing, rinsing, and sanitizing. Thank you for viewing this concession stand food safety video. For more information, please contact the Chatham County Public Health Department, Environmental Health Division at 919-542-8208 or visit the website shown on the screen.